Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to another one, Math Lesson 9. Today we're all about practicing the subtraction algorithm. So let's take a look at what that means for us. Remember this, we said it one time before back in Lesson 6. In math, we add, subtract, multiply, and divide using algorithms. Algorithms sounds like a scary word, but they're just the step-by-step procedures for getting an answer. So the subtraction algorithm, set up the problems up and down vertically. Line the numbers up at the right. First, subtract the ones column, then move over to the tens column, then the hundreds, etc. Borrow one from your neighbor to the left if your top digit is less than your bottom digit that you're trying to subtract by. And we're going to be talking about this quite a few times here. So let's jump right into it then, shall we? Here we have $416 minus $94. I set my problems up vertically, left and right, nice, neat, and straight, right? I'm going to start in my ones column. 6 minus 4. That's not too tough. 6 minus 4 is 2. But when it comes time to do my 10 column, 1 minus 9 is not 8. This is what we meant. If your top number is smaller than your bottom number, you have to go and borrow from your neighbor to the left. So 4 is going to become 3, and he pays that 1 to the neighbor. Do you see how we did that? We took 1 off of 4 and put it in this column here. 11 minus 9 now is 2. Now we can go ahead. 3 minus nothing. Hey, that's 3. And it is a money problem, so last step, let's just put in our dollar sign. Not too tough, let's try another one. 400 minus 136. Now I saw this today when I was helping somebody out. Let's start off with the first one and I'll point out what I'm going to say. 0 minus 6, can we do it? No, you cannot. 0 minus 6 is not 6. Your top number is smaller than your bottom number. So you got to go to your neighbor to try to borrow one. But guess what? This neighbor doesn't have one either. So now you have to go to the next neighbor. And what I saw when I was trying to help somebody, they automatically went like this. They put a 9 here and they put a 9 here. And that got them full of trouble. Because I'm going to point this out right now. It's not a 9 and a 9. Take it step by step. We borrowed 1 from the hundreds, so I'm going to pay 1 here. So now I have 10 in this column, right? If you have 10, now you can cross it out and make 9. And pay the 1 that I crossed out, 10 minus 1 is 9, and pay it here. Do you see the difference? Are you going to cross this 10 out? No, who's he borrowing to? He's not borrowing anybody. If you wrote a 9 here, you're going to get it wrong because you don't want to go 9 minus 6. We're going 10 minus 6. And 10 minus 6 is 4. Now I can go to the middle column. 9 minus 3, hey, that's 6. And now my hundreds column. 3 minus 1 is 2. Again, the big secret on these problems is just lining them up neat and staying neat enough that you don't trip over your sloppy mistakes. Take a look at this one here. It's going to start off being written out horizontally, right? $132 minus $40. Also, because we're going to start seeing a lot of these from here on out. Show me your work. Set them up on the problem on the paper. There's a big old square to set the problems up with. I don't want to go and just mark an answer wrong. I'd rather see why you're getting it wrong, because that way I might be able to help you, right? So let's go ahead and set them up vertically, one on top of another, and now we can go and start our subtraction algorithm again, right? 2 minus 0, the top number is bigger than the bottom, so I can go and write 2. But I can't go 3 minus 4, the top number is too small, so I got to go and borrow again. Go to your neighbor, take 1 away, so 1's going to be a 0, and pay that 1 so it's large enough that I can subtract. Now I have 13 minus 4, right? 13 minus 4, hey, that's 9. Here's something kids will sometimes do. 0 minus nothing, and I'll get a lot of 5th graders who want to write in 0. Here's my question. Would you go up to somebody and say, buddy, could I borrow $0.92? No way you would do that, right? You would just say, can I borrow $92? If it's at the front of a number, nothing is the same as 0. So never start a number with 0. You might need a 0 in the middle of it. You might need a 0 at the end of it, but never start a number with 0, because nothing is already the same as 0. And let's try this last one here. I have 203 minus 47. So even though the book is occasionally going to write them horizontally, we always set up our problems vertically, right? So I'm going to go 203. I'm going to take away my 47. I probably want to get this bar up just a little bit further, right? And now we're ready to begin our subtraction algorithm again. I got them nice, neat, and straight in 3 columns. Started off 3 minus 7. Can you do it? 3 minus 7 is not 4. The top number has to be larger than the bottom number. So I'm going to have to go to a neighbor looking to borrow. But my immediate neighbor, he has nothing too. Hey, he's broke. So now I go to my next neighbor. Take it one step at a time. I'm going to borrow 1 from this 2, so that's going to leave 1 up there, right? And I'm going to pay this neighbor 1, making him 10. So now that he has 10, now I can go and borrow. He has 10, he's borrowing 1, and he's left with 9. And he pays the 1 over here. So now I have 13 minus 7. Now I can subtract 13 minus 7. Yeah, that's 6. 9 minus 4. That's going to give me 5. And 1 minus nothing, that is 1. For 156. That is the subtraction algorithm. The biggest mistakes I see 5th graders make is not being straight, being sloppy, or not taking the time to write out when they have to borrow. Take the time and write out the steps every time. So let's talk about a few more problems we're going to see today. They aren't going to give you the exact answer, but they're going to be showing you how to get an answer. Okay, so we might see something like this guy. Is 370 an even number or an odd number? To start off with, you only got 2 ways to answer that. 370. Is that even or is that odd? Well, if you need it in digit form, we could even write it up here. 370. Is that even or is that odd? Well, I'm going to take a look at my last digit because that's how we determine odd or even, right? If the last digit is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, those are the even digits. If the last digit is 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, those are the odd digits, right? So now let's get back to this question. Is 370 an even number or an odd number? Only two ways of answering that question. Hopefully you know it is an even number, correct? How do you know that? Explain how you know. How do I know? Because it ends in 0. And 0 is an even digit. That is what they mean about explaining how you know. We had one exactly like this today, and boy did I have a whole lot of people tripping on it. So hopefully this clears things up. Let's try another one. Check this out. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of words to read for a math problem. Lake Menegoshi State Park is one of 9 state parks in North Dakota. Lake Menegoshi State Park covers approximately 112,004 acres and became a state park in the year 1939. Wow, they're giving us a lot of information. 9 state parks, 112,004 acres, became a state park in 1939. And one more piece of information, Mr. Hines has worked at the park for the last 8 years. Wow, that's a lot of reading, isn't it? Yes, it is, but take a look at what they actually want you to find. Look at the question. First of all, the first 2 words here, use words to name the number of acres Lake Menegoshi State Park covers. Well, I read up here that it covers approximately 112,004. And I read it a few times already like that. So I got to use words just to name that number. So let's go ahead. Name the number, then name the group. I have 1, 1, 2. So that sounds like 112 to me, right? I name my number, now name the group, 112,000. If there's a comma after the number, we put a comma after the word, and vice versa, right? Now what do I have over here in my no name section? I just have 4. 112,000, 4 is all we had to do. There was a lot of reading, and what they're trying to do is to make you read everything carefully, because sometimes in math problems they're going to give you numbers that you don't need. This is starting you on the journey of making sure you can pick out what number out of the problem you need. And if you read, it's actually a pretty easy problem, right? Let's keep moving on. Check out this one. It says compare. So I'm going to use my comparison symbols, greater than, less than, or equal to. But it says try to answer the comparison before subtracting. Because do I have to really figure out 31 minus 12? Do I really have to figure out 31 minus 15? Well, yes and no. If you don't understand what I'm going to show you here, yeah, you will. But I want to point something out. You're both starting with 31, and both times you're trying to take something away, right? So they're starting off equal, but you're going to take something away. Here you're going to take away 12, and on this side you're taking away 15. What would be the bigger number if you're both starting on 31, but here you're taking away 12 and here you're taking away 15 from the same number? It would seem to me that whatever that answer is would be greater than whatever this answer is, because here you're taking away less, right? And you're starting with the same number. If for whatever reason you don't believe me, you could set up 31 minus 12, and you should be able to find that answer would be 19. You could then go and take a look at 31 minus 15, and if you figured that out, your answer would be 16. Now does it make sense? 19 is greater than 16, right? And that appears all we have for today. You are certainly going to need scratch pieces of paper and pencil for this. Good luck on your Socrative quiz.